Hello guys, it's Luke from the Free Almonds here. Welcome to All the Gear, No Idea, the show that I do on weekends where you control the topics, you control the questions, and you control where the show goes. I've got the computer, I've got the internet. If you've not subscribed here already, please do. But let's get on with the show. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you are too.
Hello guys, it's Sunday. It's nearly there. It's nearly back. The football is nearly back. This time next week we will know the result of our first game back, as the Premier League will be back. You know, we kick off at 5:30 next week. I know the shows usually don't have anything planned and we just search, you know, the internet and we have a little discussion. Today, I did a little bit of planning because I'm going to treat this as the Wolves preview. So we're going to go through the Wolves game a little bit and any of the news, you know, up and coming in terms of West Ham and Premier League in general. So as I say, guys, Premier League is back. Kicks off Wednesday again, I believe, with Sheffield United game. It's exciting. It's nerve-wracking as a West Ham fan, as I've discussed, you know, for weeks of this lockdown about how I feel, and whether I feel we've got the minerals to stay up or not is a different story. It is back and we have got to be there and ready to go on Saturday at 5:30. So the first little bit of this show, please comment along as we go along. If you have any suggestions, etc., please comment along. So this will treat as a Wolves preview as well. So with Wolves, guys, they played a friendly yesterday. They drew 1-1 with Birmingham. No, they're a little bit ahead of other teams in terms of their preparations and stuff. They was training a lot of solo stuff early on. Having a great season as well, Wolves in general. If we look at the league table for the lockdown, which seems such a long time ago now, you can see there, guys. Now they're in a real good position there in 43 points. They've got a good chance they could push on. You know, with a good sort of 6-7 wins, they could be looking at Champions League football if they really do put a good run together between now and the end. Even then, you may say they might have one eye on the Europa League. Again, another way they can get the Champions League. So they've got two paths into the Champions League still left to play for. So no, they've had a fantastic season, Wolves, and they're a club that I look at, and a club that we should, you know, be aiming to sort of, you know, get to that level. We should be aiming to become a club like Wolves. It remains to be seen whether we will ever get there. In terms of their top goal scorers, guys, Raul Jimenez, what a player. 16 goals, which is fantastic. 9 assists as well. So, you know, if you don't score, he assists. Diego Jota, I believe that's pronounced. 12 goals, 1 assist. Again, very good. We've got nowhere near those numbers, you know, a 16 and a 12 goals. Matt Doherty with 6, and obviously the main man, Adama Traore, with 6. And he's my main fear, guys, Adama Traore. This guy, pace, power. You know, he's just a beast, absolute beast. No surprise that he's linked with Liverpool. I've always quite liked this guy as well. I remember him playing against us from Middlesbrough. He was really young. I remember saying to my dad, it's like, this is a guy we should sign. You know, at the time, really raw. And he has been really raw for a couple of years, Traore. He was like an Antonio style for a long time, you know, pace, power, without much end product. That end product is coming. You know, it's really started to show itself this season. You know, and this is why Liverpool are definitely looking at him. You know, there's not many like him at all, and where he has definitely worked on his tactic. At the end of the day, he's from Barcelona's academy. You know, there's got to be some, you know, something he's picked up there, and it's just a matter of time before it clicks. You know, properly. Like, you know, you see that with Sterling now. In the beginning, you know, Sterling, you know, was a lot about pace and trickery. Now Sterling obviously has the end product and goal scoring ability. So, you know, there's no doubt that Traore, I think if he can, his technique right down to it, an end product. He could be, he could be on that Sterling level. You might laugh at me. I don't know. That's my opinion. I think he has got the ability to be a top player if he can get his end product consistently all the time. I will go into the comments in a minute, guys. Just bear with me. So their last 4 games before that lockdown, I'm going to sit there. Obviously, Olympiacos 1-1, long time ago. Look at that, 12th of March. 7th of March, 0-0. So 2 draws, if you include the Birmingham game, 3 draws. Beat Tottenham, great game. I remember watching that one. And they lost to Wolves. So they was going through a little bit of a sticky spell. Apart from the Tottenham game, I suppose you could say. Obviously, form is out the window now, guys. That a lot of that is irrelevant now. I just wanted to sort of show you in terms of what they would be at time. Line up, guys. They usually line up something like this. I found this online. I didn't make this, so it's just something I found quickly online. So yeah, they usually line up with this sort of formation. Obviously, Rui Patricio, great goalkeeper. Then you've got Pavard, Johnny, Neves, Martinho, Diego Jota, Neto, Adama Traore, and Jimenez. They love their short passing. They play out the defence. They're very, very good transitional wise. When they played us, earlier in the season, I remember. They play 3 at the back. Can easily switch to 5 at the back. The wing backs are so well drilled that they're transitioning, from attack to defence is fantastic. It's one of, in my opinion, one of the best in the league. Apart from maybe your Liverpools and your Man Cities, etc. The fluidity of their team is fantastic, really is, and they showed it very well against us. Actually, the game we played earlier in the season, that they made it very hard with the wing backs because how quickly they can switch to that. But into attack, they have a 5-man midfield or a 3-man forward line. That is how good those wing back positions are for them and how important they are. Then whether they'll play that formation on the restart, who knows? We haven't got a good record against these guys in recent times as well. If you look, they beat us 2-0 obviously in that game earlier in the season. In January at their ground as well, they beat us 3-0. In September 2018, they beat us 1-0 at London Stadium. That's the last time we played at London Stadium against them. 2016, the FA Cup, we beat them 1-0. And we also beat them 2-0 back in the Premier League in 2011. Let's go into the comments very quickly. Hi, Luke. Good morning, Duke. Good morning, Chris. Will Jeremy play versus Wolves? As I think he's ideal to play versus Wolves, despite Jeremy not signing a new deal yet. Luke, you think Jeremy will end up signing a new deal? Well, I was going to go into that a little bit as well. So, for those of you who don't know, obviously we did play Alice yesterday. And we won 2-1, and Jeremy Ngakia did score. He played, and he apparently played very, very well. Also out of that game, some of the news was Declan Rice played centre-back for a little bit with Diop, which is interesting. Whether they're going to be looking at that, if he was to stay, is it time to maybe start developing Rice as a centre-back? Who knows? So, yeah, on Jeremy, I'll be honest with you, he may play some games for us between now and the 30th of June. He's only like 2-3 weeks. I don't think he'll sign a new contract now. I really don't. I don't know. I just think it seems to have gone really, really quiet. It'd be nice if he did. I won't be too upset if he doesn't. We may see him. Why not use him while we've got him? Whilst he is here. If he's going to leave on a free anyway, you may as well use him. Use him and see what happens. He's in the day. I'd like to think that he's got a professional attitude and want to play. And we want to play games. And if he is to leave, at least the West Ham fans can say, his last 2-3 games that we used him, he was dedicated and he tried his hardest in those games. I wanted Adama instead of Anderson. People said I was mad at the time. Yeah, I say I've liked Adamar from Middlesbrough days when he played against us. I remember he just absolutely ruthless. If there's someone I can describe that performance, Middlesbrough game a few years ago, it's like when St Maxim played against us this season. St Maxim didn't have the end product, but my God, that pace was terrifying. And Newcastle did tear us one that day, and sometimes, just having that brutal pace in your team alone can create so much damage because it gives the defenders something else to think about. And, we all know that West Ham's biggest problem over the last, 3-4 years is lack of pace, barring someone like Antonio and Anderson when fit. We do have a serious lack of pace, and Adamar definitely offers that. Yeah, Jones says, morning. Rob says, would you take 4 points? Yes, I would. You look at those games, Wolves, Tottenham, Chelsea. I think 4 points would be a fantastic return, mate. You've got to expect to lose at least one of those games. Really, in the position we're in, we've got to be looking to at least win one of those. And as you say, mate, if it was 4 points, that would mean we would draw one as well. So, yeah, 4 points, mate, would be fantastic. Hope that is the case. I'd bite your hand off for 4 points now, mate. Morning. What more does Jeremy have to do to get a decent wage to keep him? It's never too late. I don't know, mate. I personally think that I reckon he's signed for another club already. I could be wrong. It's just all gone a bit quiet, hasn't it? Apparently, when it's something like he wants 8 or 15 grand, which again is peanuts for a player, that's played few games for us now, and every time he's played, he's looked decent. He's looked better than some of the established right backs that have played for us over the last few years, let alone the last year or two. Over the last few years at right back, so I don't know. Remains to be seen, mate. Let's see. Let's hope. He might get back in. Might be playing back in the first team. He might, a taste for it again. He might think, actually, do you know what? At West Ham, I've got a real good opportunity here to play some football. If I am successful, I could really, if a move in a year's time, 2 years' time at West Ham, I probably haven't got to play if I stay. So like I said, did play Birmingham, and for those also who didn't know, we QPR 4-1 as well. Haller looks in good shape. He looks fit. Anderson looks fit. Lanzini looks a little bit sharper in those games. Obviously, Jack Wilshere's back as well. So, what that first team's going to look like on Saturday, who knows? Like you said, I think Ngakia, a good shout for him to play right back. He offers pace and a bit more. It's wrong to say, but he is a better defender than Fredericks. Fredericks is just pace, and sometimes that doesn't get him out of trouble defensively wise. Last time out, guys, again, a long time ago, we lost 1-0 to Arsenal. As I say, nearly everyone's fit, guys, which is good. Problems for Moisey, though, isn't it? Who are you going to pick? I think the only one who may be suspect is apparently might be the only one who's might not quite be there. So maybe that's why Rice tried at centre back yesterday, just to see how him and Diop get on potentially. Obviously, you have got Souček. If you were to play Rice at centre back, you could play Souček and Mark with Lanzini or Fornals or whatever he's going to go with. I'd like to see Antonio and Bowen with Haller, a team that played, that did so well. The game escapes me. It's such a long time ago. Bowen scored. Game. I'm not such a bad West Ham fan now, not remembering that. But yeah, the game that Bowen scored looked so good, shape-wise and formation-wise. So, yeah, very similar team to that I would like to see. I'm very excited to see what Bowen does now in these, this little mini-season, as it's being called. We've got a chance. Players like Bowen, players like Antonio. Hopefully, if Antonio can stay fit for these 9 games, your confidence grows. in terms of will we have enough to stay up? Have we got enough quality? Have we got enough goals? Haller can score a goal. Owen has shown that he can score a goal in a few games he's been there. You know how Antonio can chip in with goals. If you get Lanzini anywhere near what we know he can be, he's got goals in him. Anderson's got goals in him when fit and firing. Even Yarmolenko off the bench, you know, Marmite player, love him or hate him, he has got a goal in him with that wand of a left foot that he's got. Yeah, so there are some goals there. You know, there are players that have got goals in them, which is good. Back in the comments. Luke, how many points do you predict we'll finish on? I think we will finish on 37-38. Yeah, I've been saying out of the 9 games. So what we on? I think we're on 28, and we 28 points. I think 4 wins and you would stay up. So on that respect, you know, 4 wins would be around that sort of mark you're saying there, mate. 37-38. You know, 3 wins and a draw. 4 wins just takes you slightly over that mark. I think. Yeah. So I think that's a fair assessment, Kent. I think around sort of that 37-38 mark. The strength of our bench will be an advantage over the other teams' bottom half teams. I agree, mate. We've got a bit more quality to come off the bench. You know, don't know how much Moyes fancies Fornals, but you know, towards the end, Fornals was really planning himself into the team, and he was slowly becoming one of my favourite players at West Ham. So, you know, to have someone like Fornals to bring on, if he's not going to start, again, is brilliant, or vice versa, you know, having someone like Lanzini to bring on, if he's fit, if he's used this time, and, you know, they all treat it like it's a new season, you know, new start, form's gone out the window now, it's time for you to, you know, this is your chance to play for form again, show your hunger again. Yeah, it can only be a good thing. Like Yarmolenko as well, like I say, a chance to come back, you know, show what he's about in these 9 games again. It's good. It's good options for problems, should I say, for David Moyes to have. So we will see. In terms of prediction, guys, I just don't think we're going to have enough. I think we'll score. It's going to be interesting to see how we deal with, you know, the lack of fans, the lack of atmosphere. And so maybe, you know, the more I think about it, originally I was like West Ham might crumble not having the atmosphere. But maybe, you know, going 1-0 down and you don't hear the or the cheering from the other fans, maybe it doesn't have as much of an impact as it does when the fans are there. You know, at Sunday League football, when, you know, a few fans cheering, it doesn't seem to affect players as much as it does at the top level. So it'd be interesting. It's going to be interesting. I think if we concede early, that could hurt us, though. That could hurt us. I think if we score first and we've got, and you know, and we get a little bit of confidence, who knows? But I think, guys, if I have to go out on a whim, if I was got to put a bet on for next Saturday, I would say West Ham lose 3-1. I think they've just got a little bit too much for us. A confident team, got some excellent footballers. They, like I say, their transitional play between defence and attack is one of the best in the league. So much speed, so much technical ability. I just think they'll have a little bit too much for us. We don't know. We honestly don't know, because form is out the window. It's like the start of the season where anything can happen. You know, your confidence is different. Your players are fit. You've all been back together. You'll plan again. You're mentally fit as well, because you've not played so many games. So all those games before where you hadn't scored for 6-7 weeks, that's gone. So exciting times, guys. Yeah, so that's the Wolves preview done. In terms of other news, guys, you know, there's just the constant links to players. You know, the Bakayoko one keeps coming up, and there was obviously that rumour. I'm not my opinion on it yet, so I will, you know, one between the one of Michi Stuai and Declan Rice swap deal and something like 40 million and stuff like that. I can't remember what it was. Not for me. Not for me. I have to say I agree with the other channels. I've watched both. I watched Amish Chats talk about it quite deeply, and obviously the West Ham Fan TV one they did on Friday, they discussed it quite deeply as well. Not for me. Not for me. The Rice CR one, Michi's turned us down 2 times. He's turned us down for Palace before. Do you know what I mean? For me, not the sort of player we need. I think if we sign him, I'm not saying he's a bad player. He'd probably be okay for us, probably a good player for us. But I think he would be always looking for some way out of the club, and I think we've had too many of them over the last few years. We don't need that again. I like the idea that, if we do stay up, I like the idea of Moyes, going down to that lower league, get up your Matty Cashes, Ezzy as well from QPR is strongly linked. There was another one today, but I can't remember his name. I like that. I like Championship is not as big a jump anymore. It's that is a very competitive league. There are some very, very good players down there. You only have to look at the Leeds guy, Phillips. He's a top player, and if Leeds are to come up, he will be a important player to watch. Loads of rumours that he's being looked at very strongly to be head of Rice for the CDM role for England. So interesting stuff. If you're going for a swap deal with Chelsea, who would you pick, guys? Who would you pick? So if they said, all right, any player, because obviously you've got to go your Canties and people like that. A realistic player we could have for Rice and some money, would it be? I heard someone saying about Loftus-Cheek. That one interests me a bit more. Someone like Loftus Fit is a top player. Something different, something good. If you were talking a little bit more money, if you was talking, say, they verse, I don't know, 50, 55 million and someone like Ross Barkley, would you consider that? I like Ross Barkley as well. He's a good player. Would come to West Ham, probably be one of our best players as well if we were to get someone like Ross Barkley in. I'm trying to think who else. No, not really anyone else for me. In the chat, Thomas says if Noble plays in a 2 beside Rice, Arroyo will get overrun in midfield. If Noble does start, we need Souček. Yeah, we definitely need Souček to start. Souček's shown what he was about in those few games. Very busy, likes to get in the box, but also the ability to tackle and work rate. Obviously, that was something like he runs one of the most active players in terms of running and stuff. In the previous league he came from, so we would definitely need him starting on Saturday. Claret and Hugh says we are looking to sign 21-year-old Malanga Sarr. Do you know anything about him? No, only from FIFA. Here you go. I've heard the name on FIFA. I think I've played with him a couple of times, but apart from that, mate, I've got to be honest, I've not heard much about him. Accepting 40 million plus Michi for Rice would be laughable. Yep, totally agree, mate. That would be saying that Michi's worth about 40, which not now. He's not that moving a striker for me to be worth 40. I think you could argue you would pay something about 30 for Batshuayi potentially. It doesn't excite me. It doesn't interest me, that deal at all. If you're going to sell Rice, it's got to be for the man you mentioned next and money, or just money in general. Take Mason Mount. So, yeah, Mason Mount would be a fantastic one, but he ain't coming nowhere near West Ham. I could see Mason is one, though. I know Frank likes him a lot, but Mason's one, if Chelsea seem to be doing this thing with the spending, Mason's one that I potentially could see going to a different club, maybe a year or two. If Chelsea look like they're spending some serious dough, that could force Mason out of the team. But who knows? They've got some other players that they can sell. Like I said, I do like Ross Barkley as well. don't know how old Ross Barkley is now, though. That's the only thing. I think he might be a little bit on now. Let me just grab a drink, guys. 2 seconds. Another one that I've not commented on. Lallana and Nathaniel Klein. Typical West Ham players, really, that we're linked with. Injury-prone players at the big clubs. Lallana's a top player. Again, classic West Ham line when fit. Nathaniel Klein was a player a few years ago. I think if you're looking at those sort of English players like that, there's Ryan Bertrand's, Nathan Redmond's, people like that. Mayo stuff. Thomas just mentions there, if Ngakia leaves, should we get Metcalf? Yes. Another one I like, a team that will probably go down Norwich, is Max Aarons. Whether he's in West Ham's budget, I don't know. Max Aarons is a great right back. We've got to be looking for players with a potential sell-on value in a few years' time. We can't keep doing these quick fixes. Listen, any player you sign is a gamble. You've got to be looking at players that will potentially give you a resale value in a few years' time. I look at Wan-Bissaka, 50 million, that was for Crystal Palace, which is, that is what we need to be looking to doing. Like Declan Rice, when he goes, it's not if he goes, it's when he goes. Maybe not this summer, probably more certainly next summer or the summer after. We're going to be getting big money for him if we don't go down this year. But if we stay up, we're going to be looking at that 70, 80 million mark for him, which is fantastic for a club like West Ham. Because again, you can go and get 2 £40 million players with that, or you get a really good £50 million player, and a £30 million player. And that's, I mention them a lot on this channel, but that is how you look at Tottenham. With the Bale sale and the Modric sales, that is how they've been able to do where they are now. They've not won anything, but you would like to sort of be in their position. They've played in Champions League finals. They're consistently getting into the Champions League places, and that's because they do buy players with a resale value. Someone like Harry Kane, if they sold Harry Kane, that's going to be £150 million plus player. Then that buys 3 players potentially, or 2 absolute world-class players for their team. That's what we need to be looking at. It's like you say, someone like Matty Cash could come in. He may flop. He could come in and be fantastic, become established, one of the most sought-after right-backs, and then you're selling him for 40, 50 million. Again, you start that rebuild again. You start developing different areas again. A Bowen as well, someone like Bowen, really highly rated as one of the best players in the Championship, and for 20 million. If he has a good season, stays in the Premier League, it will be excellent. Be worth 40 million in 2-3 years' time. Be worth 5 million if he does crap. Who knows? Selling our top players to London rivals don't sit well with me. Would rather Rice go abroad if we have to sell. I think the Chelsea thing is a massive pull for him. A lot of people have been saying, they're the club that let him go. I think that's what makes him want to go there even more. He's from the area. I think his family still live in that area. And I think he'd want to go back and prove a point. This is what you could have had. This is what I am. I am good. I am capable of taking Kante's role. And that does scare me as well. If Kante does leave for Real Madrid for that 71 million, I think they're saying 71 million is the money that's going to be used for Declan Rice. So keep a close eye on N'Golo Kante going to Real Madrid. And for me, if that does go through, I think Declan Rice's chances of leaving West Ham go up even higher. I really do. Both of Norwich's fullbacks are excellent. The name of the left back escapes me. I can't say I'm an expert on Norwich, to be honest with you, apart from Pookie and Max Aarons. They're about the only players I know. I used to love James Maddison when he was there as well. Another player we missed out on, which we should have saw. And how much is he worth now, James Maddison? Top player. That's what I'm saying about gambles. You look at Harry Maguire picked up from Man United this year. What was it? 80 million? Was it 70 million? I can't remember now. So great gamble from Leicester. James Maddison, great gamble from them. Again, he's another one heavily linked to Manchester United. He's probably worth 50, 60 million now, which again is all profit for Leicester, and then Leicester can rebuild. Leicester are very good at that as well in terms of, buy for a player, sell for a massive fee. Kante, when they bought him, was only something like 500,000, sold him for 50 million. Mahrez, again, I think Mahrez was bought for something like 10, 12 million, sold for 70 million or 60, weren't it? I can't remember. They are excellent run business, Leicester, in terms of who they buy, who they sell, scouting system to players on that level. They sell Mahrez. They got Perez in. He fit into that system. Sold Harry Maguire, and they've arguably bought someone just as good as Sionku. That is where a good scouting network, a football director, can eat that fluidity of the team. Bring in Brendan Rodgers, a manager with the same sort of philosophies that Leicester have been playing with for a long time. Bring in players that can automatically fit into the system. I'm hoping, with Moisey, there are question marks about David Moyes, but I think with Moyes, if we give him a transfer window, let him build his scouting network, I think potentially he can build some solidarity around us and change us a little bit as a club. I'm not going to say he's got the ability to take us to Champions League level or even to Europa League level. I think he could have an effective change on the club in terms of the way it's run, set up behind the scenes, the coaching network, scouting network, and getting scouts out there. And that is how you can start into those levels of the Leicesters, the Wolves, Evertons, just sorting things out like that around the manager to protect the manager. We'll go to a Prem club, then Norwich go down as well. I agree, mate. Yeah, so exciting times ahead, guys. Loads and loads of football now over the next few weeks. I think England's first game of the Euros would have been today as well, wouldn't it? So we should all be enjoying that and having our barbecues with our families, which always happens during the Euros, and getting the beers out. But obviously that is not the case this year. Next year, we've got it next year. We can enjoy that next year. If you've got any questions, guys, or anything like that, just drop them in the chat now and I'll go through them. I'll ramble on about other things whilst we're waiting. So, other big news, guys, for those of you who do know, I'm a massive boxing fan. So, the Fury-Joshua fight has more or less been confirmed for next year. 2 fights. If all goes well in their fights, obviously AJ's got to fight Pulev, and Tyson Fury's got to fight Deontay Wilder for a 3rd time. One thing I will say about that fight, if it doesn't happen in the UK, it's an absolute disgrace. Because, two British fighters, biggest fight in boxing at the moment is that fight, AJ versus Tyson Fury. And if it was taken away from us, so fans can't go to it over here, or in a country that's, like Saudi Arabia or somewhere like that, which is, more or less impossible to get to for, your normal standard grassroots boxing fan. That's my only issue with that. I just hope it does happen in England. Do fancy Tyson Fury to win that when it happens. I think he'll be too cute for him. I think he will use his boxing skills. I think he'll wind up Joshua. I think Joshua may knock Fury down at some point in the fight. I think Fury's got, he's just made of from gravy. That Gypsy King mentality. You're going to have to kill me in this ring for me to go to sleep. I think will frustrate Joshua if he knocks him down and he's still coming at him. So yeah, for me, Fury does win that one. Which 3 clubs will go down? Norwich, Bournemouth. It's between us and Aston Villa, really, mate. I think between us and Aston Villa, and I No, I can't put anything between us at the minute until I've seen us how we play again and what sort of form we're in. The fight should be at Wembley. Yeah, maybe one at London Stadium. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Yeah, that would be lovely. Yeah, so that'll do for today, guys. Unless there's any questions that come in the next couple of minutes, I think that'll do. That is the Wolves preview, guys. Me and Paul will do probably a little podcast later in the week. I'll be back next week to talk about the game. Finally, can actually talk about a match, talk about what we're impressed with, what we weren't impressed with, whether we lost 3-1, like I said, or whether we won 1-0. We're starting to think, yeah, we're definitely going to stay up now. It will actually be good that I can talk about a match rather than, making stuff up as I go along. Yeah, it's been great, guys. Thanks for staying loyal. Staying with the channel for the last 10 weeks. It's been hard for all the channels, West Ham Fan TV, Hammers Chat. We've had to, put some content together, think on our feet, think of different things to talk about, new ideas and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's been fun, guys. But now it's back, it's back to what these channels are about, the football, West Ham, and let's enjoy it, guys. Let's keep believing, as I say about this channel all the time. Keep believing that we're going to stay up. Keep believing we can do good things, and I think we'll be all right. But Thomas, sorry for 2 seconds, Thompson. Stupid alerts come up on my thing. So Thomas does say, I missed the start of the show. Did you have Wilshere start? I didn't. Wilshere will be on the bench for me. I'd rather start him in the Spurs game. I think the Spurs game, London derby, ex-Arsenal player. I think there's a place for him in that game. Don't get me wrong, I think if Jack is fit, I think, with the 5 substitutes that Moyes will have at his disposal, I think you will see Jack come on at some point in that game, pending on where it lies in terms of whether we're winning or losing. He doesn't start for me. It's not to say that I think we will see a little bit of him in that game, and I think we'll see a fair bit of him in the remaining 9 games. Tom, thanks for the question. Anyway, guys, keep believing on your ones. If you've not subscribed already, please do. If you like the show, please give it a like. It always helps us out. Lovely to get to 3,000 soon. I think we're about 120 away from 3,000 subs, which is fantastic. Brilliant number for us if we can get there. Until then, guys, on your ones, keep believing.
Hello guys, it's Luke for the Free Humans here. Welcome to All the Gear, No Idea, the show that I do on weekends where you control the topics, you control the questions, and you control where the show goes. I've got the computer, I've got the internet. If you've not subscribed to it already, please do. But let's get on with the show. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you are too.